So I just made some super cute miniature pizzas. It's on low carb tortilla shells, like soft shells, that I crisped up for about 5 minutes in the oven, and then I added some marinara sauce, jalapenos, pineapple, black olive, and then some mozzarella cheese on top. Hopefully they will be super delish. Hello! Tonight for dinner, I made something that drove Bunny absolutely crazy. It is some salmon right there with a few capers on top, a side of mushrooms, and a side of yummy delicious spaghetti squash. Sunday was family dinner, but because it was also Cinco de Mayo, we decided to go out to eat at a local Mexican restaurant. I studied the menu and decided on the Cabo San Lucas salad. For my drink while we waited for my parents to show up, I got a full sugar regular Coke. This pico de gallo is probably my favorite salsa ever. It's better than the ones at Qdoba or Chipotle too. The platter of nachos that Tanner got was absolutely massive and loaded up with cheese. Then on my right, my dad ordered a cheesy dip. I guess it's fair to say that I was pretty surrounded by temptation. Once I was done with my Coke, I decided to order water instead of getting a refill. And last but not least was my salad, the famous Cabo San Lucas. Y'all should already know, when you see me sitting down here in my living room, we're about to have a chat. And I'm feeling exceptionally chatty tonight, so get comfy. I've got my water, I've got my cat Bunny, who is just licking my toes. Just wanted to chit chat a little bit about how things went this weekend. I already don't remember what I ate yesterday. I might have to look in my app because the things that I was thinking of first and foremost were the 2 meals that I had out. So Friday night I was actually on call, which I kind of forgot by the time that Tanner and I had sat down at the restaurant and had already finished eating. I was like, ooh, I'm actually pretty lucky I didn't get called in, because that would have been kind of awkward. So I can see like Bunny's cat hair floating around, and sometimes I see it in the playback in the videos and it like lands on my face, and then like it's really distracting the rest of the time. So I'm trying to keep Bunny's hair off of me, but I'm not doing a very good job with her right here. See, there was just one floating by up here. So anyways, a little reflection on the sequence of events that happened leading up to Tanner and I eating out twice this week. So, first things first, when he got home on Friday, I had just been waking up because even though I work night shift, I always stick to that night shift schedule, meaning I typically go to sleep around like 6 or 7 a.m. and then on a work day, I would wake up around 3, or on my days off, I usually snooze quite a bit and I wake up around like 4 or 5. So that's my typical sleep schedule. So by the time Tanner got home around 4:30, I was just waking up. And I think that evening we might have snoozed together a little bit longer, and then I was awake and I was hungry, so I was like kind of bugging him for like where we're gonna go out to eat. And I don't know why, and maybe this is something I could think about a little harder, but like when it's the end of the week or the end of something stressful or just like something that I want to be able to do, I really want to go eat out. Like that's like my default thing that I want to do when I see friends. That's like the thing that I look forward to a lot throughout the week. And I'm not saying that my new plan needs to be to never eat out again, because I don't think that's realistic, especially with me as a foodie. But I think I could limit it, like significantly limit it quite a bit more. So we're in bed and I'm like bugging him for where we're gonna go out to eat. And he's kind of the opposite of me. He does not like sit down restaurants. He would rather go through a drive-through. Like we're both bad in the sense that we both like to not cook our own meals, but he's more of a drive-through person and I'm more of like a restaurant person. So I'm bugging him and I'm like, look, it's been forever since we had a sit-down restaurant. Like I want to go somewhere and actually sit down and dine and eat. And then I just happened to think of it. I was like, we haven't gotten Indian in a long time. Like I'm craving Indian. I really would love to go get some Indian food. Then before we had even pulled in to the parking lot, we both already knew what appetizers we were getting. I probably already said this, but like he is honestly obsessed with the appetizer that he got. Like he thinks that it rivals mozzarella sticks. Like, it is so delicious, the food that we got and the place that we went to eat. Like, it's the restaurant that I had my 16th birthday dinner at because I love it so much. So when we were enjoying our food, I honestly was getting full pretty fast, and I think that's because I had all of the soup of my appetizer, or of my, I guess, first meal. First course, thank you, first course. I had all of my soup. I had like 4 out of the 8 pieces, or excuse me, I had 3 out of the 8 pieces of the bread appetizer that I got. And then I had maybe a third to a half of my entree, probably more like a third, to be honest. And because I went home with a lot of leftovers, I felt pretty good about how much I had eaten. Like, I wasn't really that hungry because I had just woken up. So the amount of food that I had at the restaurant like filled me up pretty fast. And then just because we were by one, I ended up going through Scooters, which, like, I technically can fit it in my diet most days, like, especially with the extra vegetables that I've been eating lately. Like, it's not that difficult to fit it in. But I know it's not like the healthiest thing for me. And if anything, I should just like eat more protein, eat more veggies, have like bigger servings of food instead of eating liquid calories. So that's something that like I know and I'm aware of, but at the same time, it's like I want to have a little bit of fun. Like, don't kill my buzz here. And I am proud that most of the time I do make my coffee at home now. But then Sunday, today came around and it was Cinco de Mayo, and I already knew going into family dinner, my plan was to not eat much at all. And I was assuming this whole time that we were eating dinner at home. I had no idea that my parents wanted to go out to eat. But then they said the magical word of arguably my favorite restaurant in this city, my actual favorite, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, we're definitely going. That change in scenery and change in like special occasion, like tier of special occasion, because any random Sunday, you know, family dinner that we have, I don't care if I miss out on a lot of the meal or like a lot of the sides that we're eating. Like, I honestly thought that we were gonna eat at home, and I thought to myself, like, just eat the protein and like don't get any sides, because my family typically does not eat healthy. So I told myself going into it, like, just have a lot of the protein or some of the protein, like eat enough so that you're not being rude. I'll eat my leftovers, I'll eat something else at home. And then plans got changed, and suddenly I was in my favorite restaurant and I was like, oh shit. Even then, I think I handled it miraculously. And part of it was thanks to the situation that the flour chips that they brought out were not hot. Like, usually, I don't know if they put it under a heat lamp or something, but usually the flour chips that they bring with the pico de gallo is like, is hotter, and it's a lot more like appetizing. But this time it was room temp, which like honestly worked in my favor because I didn't want that many of them. Then Tanner got nachos, which he and I agreed that we were gonna split. And then they bring this massive, like bigger than my head size platter of nachos, and I was like, you're eating that? Like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. Like, oh my god. And all the cheese on top of it too. I was out for the count. I was already like, look, this one's you. So I'm proud with the restraint that I showed when it came to chips, because there was chips with the pico de gallo, chips with the cheesy dip that my dad got, and then of course chips with the nachos. And I even told Tanner ahead of time before we ordered, I was like, we're gonna be eating a lot of chips today. Like, this is a very chip heavy meal. And I pointed it out to him and he was like, oh, you know. But it was just something I noticed, and I think like calling attention to it, at least for myself, was like a way that I could prepare and that I could like realize how much food there was and how the opportunity or like the chance that I would overeat in chips was like a very, very valid concern at that time. So I'm happy with how I navigated it, and I definitely showed a lot of restraint when it came to the appetizers. Then my salad came, and by that time, another platter, huge platter of food with chips lining the edge of it, which by the way, I only had one of the chip from the salad because I was totally chipped out. I was starting to eat my salad and I couldn't finish it. I really couldn't. I had like I did eat all of the avocado out of it because I'm like, this is gonna go brown in my fridge, so let me just eat this fresh. And then I had maybe half of the chicken and then like not even like a quarter of the amount of dressing that they put on the side. So I did really good on the salad front. Like I definitely think that I made a really, really smart decision with that. I think that going forward, like I need to not, I hate to say this, but like I really need to not eat out as much. And that concerns me because I don't really like my own cooking that much. Although the mushrooms and the spaghetti squash that I made last night turned out really good. The salmon turned out like a little overdone. It was kind of chewy by the end of it because I took it out after like 15 minutes and it was raw in the middle. Like I couldn't flake it at all. It was maybe like cooked like a quarter of an inch and then the rest of it was raw. So I put it back in for 10 minutes and I upped the heat, and then I guess that was just too much because I really cooked her. Pardon the outfit change, my arms were getting a little bit chilly. Yeah, it was a pretty happy weekend. It was a pretty nice long weekend off of work. My only like semi-concern, like I'm not too freaked out about it. Like I think I'll be okay because I've had scooters before, I've eaten out before. Like literally my day one was Tanner's birthday and we had like a ton of greasy and high sugar foods when we went out to the wings place. I have experience with indulging and then getting back on track. So, man, she's trying to tear apart her bed. As I was saying, I have experience, I have built some skill in returning to / resuming / just moving on, being resilient, practicing resiliency, and moving on through any slight deviation or slight slip up. And like it sucks to call it a slip up. It sucks to like view it as if it was a mistake because like it's just like part of my life. Like I'm going to have meals out. I'm going to have special occasions, even ones that like I forgot to plan for. Stuff like this just happens, and like I don't want to view it as I quit my diet for the 2 hours that I was in the restaurant and then we left and I get right back on the diet, because like I feel like that flip-flop, like that's gonna give me whiplash after a while, because that kind of sounds a bit like an all or nothing. Like I'm all in, I'm going like 100% effort, and then I quit and I give 0% for this meal and then I get back on it. Like why not just make the meal a part of the diet? Why not make it like an expected thing that's going to happen? Because I think that that would also like take away the big scary, like it makes it not a problem anymore. It's just part of like what happens, and that's life. Like that's fine. And I'm very confident that I'm still losing weight, especially with seeing where my calorie counts have been this week. Like it doesn't surprise me that I eat a little bit more on the nights that I don't work, because when I am at work, like it's really hard for me to eat on my breaks. I bought a scale in that haul from when we went to Walmart, and tomorrow, hopefully I'll remember to do this. Well, no, I should be able to, because I don't have my morning med that I usually take with water. So before I do anything else, I'm going to run to the bathroom and then I'm going to weigh myself on the scale. So hopefully we will get some good numbers coming back. Just to recap where I left off the last time I weighed myself, I was 181.2, and that was on April 20th. Shortly before then, on April 16th, I was 183. April 2nd, I was 181.4. A lot of 181s, 183s. So I will say my goal for tomorrow, hopefully I'll still be at or under 181.2. It would be kind of a bummer to see it go up, so my goal tomorrow, I guess, is 181.1 or lower. And just to get myself back into the habit of weighing myself frequently, because I know that like obviously it's going to depend on like how much water I'm retaining, what I've had to eat lately, how much sleep I got, what time I like stopped drinking and eating tonight. Like all of those variables and more can affect what the scale says. In order to have more accurate measurements and like be able to see it, I think I might weigh myself every day. That's what I did the last weight loss journey that I had when I lost 30 pounds, and I thought that it was pretty consistent, reliable data. So yeah, that's a possibility. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope that everyone has a safe and happy day and days and weeks and months and life. If if you haven't already, please do consider leaving a like on this video and clicking subscribe. Thanks again, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!